Bada boom, bada bang, bada bop. We have the Nike Vomero 18 here. Title, not a typo. Now, if you are looking for a shoe like the Nike Vomero 18, a comfortable, cushioned, everyday running shoe, and you don't want to pay $150, which is the price of this, you might want to check out the Supwell app. Usually I have a shirt on that says Supwell. Today I have my Hobby Jogger gear on. Hobby Jogger hats, by the way, are on hobbyjogger.com. I finished the ordering, so whatever's on the site, that's the last inventory left until we do the summer drop. So if you want a black or a white hat, go check. I don't even know if there's any availability. However, Supwell app, which by the way gets you 10% off of those Hobby Jogger hats, best buy, sell, and trade marketplace for hobby joggers, best community for hobby joggers. Let me tell you a story. I'm gonna keep it quick here, 15 seconds. A guy posted yesterday, I'm brand new to running. I've been doing it for 2 weeks. I'm looking for a shoe recommendation. And he got 15, 20 dang shoe recommendations in 10 minutes. You know what's better than getting a shoe recommendation when you're just starting running? Having a community of supportive people who care and are invested in your journey. It's the Supwell app. I built it through blood, sweat, and mileage. Get in with us today and enjoy today's video. Biggs all. Oh my goodness, we need to get that Brooks box out of the background there. You know what's inside that Brooks box and why it's sitting there? Inside that Brooks box is the Glycerin 22, which was in my Jeep for so long. I had it sitting in the front seat, the passenger seat of my Jeep, because I was going to return it to Dick's Sporting Goods. It was awful. And then it's just one of those things where Dick's is only about a 7-minute drive away. But it's not the 7-minute drive, it's everything else that you have to figure out to be able to make that kind of a trip. Just working it into the daily routine. It just didn't happen. So it was sitting on the front passenger seat of my Jeep for 6 weeks maybe? When did I review that shoe? And then Charlie doesn't ride in my car all that often. So when she did, I moved it to the trunk. And then it just got moved around. It somehow ended up back inside. And then you know who brought it in here and just dropped it on the floor. That was Charles. So let's get this thing out of here. Goal! You know it's not one of the worst shoes of 2025? The Nike Vomero 18. It really is not. And this is what I said yesterday. So I inputted this thing into my I actually updated my run with it. Maybe I'll beep out the name of the platform because I don't want to give them any free promo anymore. I put this into my shoe tracking software, and somebody commented, wow, it must be a glitch in the matrix. But the reason I put this in was because I was trying to crowdsource some hot takes. I was thinking maybe if I put the shoe on, other people will comment their hot takes, which sometimes will happen when people see what I'm running and when I do update it. And I said on that run, man, I do not have a hot take on the Vomero 18. It's not trash. It's not amazing. It's somewhere in between. And the thing with these Nike running shoes is that anytime before they drop, without fail, whether it's a daily trainer, a speed shoe, a max cushion shoe, or a race shoe, the expectations are just sky high. I don't know what it is about it. It's just because Nike, people expect greatness. I guess it's like LeBron James, right? If LeBron doesn't make the finals and if he doesn't win a chip, then the season is a failure. People felt the same way about Tom Brady. But these great brands and great athletes too, they put the expectations on themselves. If you look at the way Nike approaches marketing versus other brands, it's all about greatness. It's all about digging deep and being a champion. It's all about overcoming demons and climbing to the peak of Mount Mileage. So the expectations of these shoes from Nike, it's not just from what people are saying, it's from internal. It comes from Nike themselves. So Vomero 18, this is a max cushioned daily trainer. It's designed to be versatile, comfortable, durable. I've put it through now 40-something miles, I think 43 miles officially. I did a 12-mile run in it yesterday because I want to feel it out before we get to this 50-mile review. And it has been surprisingly solid. Now, first few runs and out of the box, I was expecting ZoomX bounce. I was expecting this thing to be like think many people like an Invincible, even though it's not the Invincible replacement. That will be coming soon in the Vomero Plus, and we've already started to see some higher quality leaks of that. Actually looks very similar to this, except it's going to be full ZoomX, wrapping the sidewalls up, and the upper has some of these cascading lines on it, similar to an Air Max 90. But because they've stamped this giant ZoomX thing, I thought soft and bouncy, which it is not. Let me go grab the shoes to get if you want soft and bouncy. All right, I have some of these shoes here. First, people keep saying Invincible replacement. I don't know if they're just not realizing you can still buy a Nike Invincible 3. If you want an Invincible replacement, just get the Invincible. You can buy it for around $100 if you poke around for a good deal. These things are always going on sale, especially if you can get to a Nike outlet or find a good deal at one of those clearance stores. I think even Running Warehouse has them for $130. You put in our code, you get it down to $117. So the best Invincible replacement is a discount Invincible. Now, another shoe, if you're looking for something more modern, soft, bouncy daily trainer, Balos. This is another good one, and you can also find it for $150 in this colorway on Joe's New Balance outlet. Max Stack, Invincible replacement, Glide Ride Max, and then daily trainer, best daily trainer, soft and bouncy right now, Mizuno Neo Zen. Point being, there's a ton of great soft and bouncy shoes on the market, the last gen Invincible. This is not one of them. This has a React X on the bottom, and that is the main ride quality you are going to be getting. React X is a denser, gummier, heavier compound. It's not light, soft, and airy, but it does provide great support and, key here, impact absorption. So not only is this surprisingly solid when it comes to the ride performance, solid as in pretty good, it's solid as in it doesn't feel like it's going to bottom out. It's really comfortable, it's supportive, and I would say that's probably the top quality of this that I was not expecting. I wasn't sure what to expect. Very supportive shoe. Because you have the React X, it doesn't feel mushy in the forefoot. It doesn't feel too low. That was the issue a lot of people had with the Vomero 17. That was one of my favorite daily trainers. If I made a top 5 daily trainers list of the 2020s, that might go on it. I put 200 miles on it. It was a beautiful ride. You get some nice ground feel in the front. However, because of that ground feel that you got in the front of the 17, let me go grab it. Oh, man. Nope, just kidding. First time that's happened. I actually gave that one to Goodwill. That's crazy. I'm trying to do a better job of just getting these shoes out of here. Sometimes I put them for free on the Supwell app, but that one was 200 miles, Vomero 17. I didn't think anyone was going to want it, so it's not in the office anymore. But that one was very flexible in the forefoot. You got a lot of ground feel. This bumped up the stack height, and because they switched to React X versus the Cushlon, I think the Cushlon performs better in terms of the bounce, but the React X does have that nice cushioned, not gonna bottom out feel to it. And then the other thing that was surprisingly good about this shoe is the toe box in the upper. This is not narrow, and it doesn't pinch at all. I actually had someone, so when I did update that run and somebody commented about, did they have to size down? Because it was, I think he said it might have been too loose for them or something, or maybe it was size up. Regardless, the fit of this has been perfect for me. Even if you compare it to, Neo Zen, this one is known to be a wider fit. The Vomero 18 isn't that far off. If we grab the calipers here, let's take it at the point of the toe box here. 101 across, Neo Zen, same place, narrower, right? And this is known as a wide, loose fit. That was 97 across. Let's take a look at, I'm trying to find a normal fitting shoe. Nova Blast is pretty normal. Let's see, same point in the toe box here. Just about the same in the Nova Blast, 102. Point being, Nike has nailed it in terms of delivering something with the upper and underfoot experience that is just normal. You get a lot of padding. At the top, I had no pinching, no rubbing. I've run a few times in slightly warmer weather. My foot didn't heat up a ton. Downsides are going to be, as you see as we put this through the lab, because you have this foam that's designed for impact absorption, it's going to be heavier. Because you have all this padding on the upper, it's going to be heavier, but it feels so normal, so comfortable, and so solid. All right, let's do this thing. Weigh in, just quickly, quick lab stats here. 325 grams. You can see that's heavy. It's still heavy, just as heavy as when it first came in here. Nova Blast, for some comparison, 270 grams. And then if you want to compare it to the last gen or the current gen Invincible, this thing is about 300, just about 300 grams. By the way, I did get demoted again because I was able to get that nice scale for one video with the bright numbers and everything. And now I'm back to trapping off the Hario with the dull numbers, no bright numbers. But key thing I want to measure today is we have 40-something miles on this thing. Has it compressed? It was above 40 millimeters when it first came into the office. We'll see what it is today. Bada boom. Left side here. Bada bang. Yes, it has compressed down to 39.9 on the left side. And on the right side, 41. Let's take one more measurement there. So some variation, and that's what I've been noticing. There is some variation with how these are compressing. Maybe it's also due to my own foot strike. I mean, if they're out of the box, it's not. But yeah, this one is higher. Am I putting more power down on my left side? Ooh. No, these tend to have, most of these shoes, I've realized they have 1 to 2 millimeters difference on both of the sides, but it hasn't compressed too much, still up around 40. That is still a lot of protection. Let's go out there, lace it up, and see how it's doing.
Come on, where's the trust?
One of those weeks where you're getting after it. All gas, no brakes. Not for the running. My running has been terrible this week. Not terrible. Just more of a recovery week. But I have 3 massive pitches for my job, so I've just been cranking on those. I was working till 10. Woke up this morning, had breakfast with the kids, and then back to the computer. So, yeah, I don't know if people know that I have a legitimate full-time job. This is not my job. Well, it is my job because I made it my job. That's the thing. If you want to make something happen, you have to treat it like a job. So I was treating this like a job since 2023, making $0. Yeah, so now I guess I'm basically working a full-time job and then this part-time job. All right, the Vomero 18 is on. As I've said, this is a very comfortable fit. I love this upper. It's not the lightest weight. It's not the most breathable. It's not the opposite either, but it's just super comfortable. Great padded tongue, great padding around the back. It's a nice lace-up experience, and it has an awesome step-in feel. One of those things that's weirdly important for a daily trainer. It needs to just feel good. It has excess importance. It's almost like the step-in comfort is more important in some cases than the midsole feel. Because when I put the shoe on, that's in my mind. How is it going to feel when I lace it up? Is it going to be a fight to get it on like the Mizuno Neo Zen? And it's one of those things where you have a big rotation of shoes. If one shoe you have to fight 15 seconds to put it on, you might not run in it that day. And then that's what people talk about your shoe on the Supwell app. And then they sell it because you have a bad lace-up experience. No, lace-up experience in this is great. Easy to put on. Really comfortable. It's wide. It's surprisingly wide. I'm telling you, they have widened out this toe box from their standard fit. Is great. In my 10.5, this is awesome. And I have enough length as well. So overall, it feels like they've engineered this shoe for the American market, unlike a lot of these other brands coming in here like Diodora the other day with that horrible $240 shoe. This feels like a $150 shoe. That's the thing. For a lot of us, if we're buying running shoes and into the culture of running shoes, no matter what our income is or background, we're used to the concept of a $200 training shoe. From other people, if you don't normally buy running shoes, again, no matter what your income is, if you're typically going to the office in a pair of Stan Smiths or Nike Kill Shots, no matter what your income is, you're used to paying $100 for a sneaker. So forking up $150 for something to run in feels expensive, and this feels worth it. Again, it's surprisingly solid. The midsole feel walking here is nice. Awesome step-in feel, and the upper is great. So it feels like a $150 shoe. That's good value. They could have made this $160 even. That was the price of the last one, and you're getting more foam here. So smashes it on the fit and feel. This is probably the best part of this shoe. The midsole feel is awesome for walking. Great walking shoe. I know this is going to be a hit come 2025 NFL season, and I'm already out here with that dad swag increasing. I might have to go for number 4. Whoo! All right, let's get out of here. Pull up with that dad drip. Let's get some mileage. So I'm just getting 8 this morning. That's all I have time for. I'm gonna need to make up some mileage tomorrow. And weeks like this, when the schedule is just completely packed, just gotta appreciate whatever mileage we can get. But yeah, running in the Vomero 18, very simple feeling shoe. It's got a lot of rubber underneath. You can feel it gripping the ground. That top layer of Zoom X squishes down, and then the bottom layer, especially in the heel of React X, has nice protection. So a very comfortable shoe. In an uncomfortable world, we need some max cushion gang comfort. Just thinking about balancing everything this week, these are the times that make me realize the importance of the non-negotiable strategy. So setting out, okay, I'm gonna run X number of miles per week. I'm gonna do the daily videos or have whatever daily commitment, and I'm gonna be accountable to it. Being accountable to the system. And if you have a system, it's easier to be accountable. For some reason, the hardest thing to do is to be accountable to ourselves. It's way easier to not let other people down. You're not just gonna skip 4 days of meetings straight with your boss. Why? Because you'd get fired. What's the equivalent of doing that for ourselves? Skipping 4 days of commitments. But for a lot of people, we're okay just letting ourselves down. That's why I have the system. You don't cheat the system. You treat the system like a job. Mile 1, 7:47. It's probably going to be my only run today because I have 7 straight hours of Zoom calls after this, but still feeling pretty trashed. I realized I was going hard though for 3 to 4 weeks straight, just grinding out crazy workouts. So down week here and there can help recharge. That 20 miler on Sunday, or 23 miler, I think did me in. Haven't done a workout since then. Yeah, I really don't have a hot take on this thing. Some shoes can just be. Not everything is fire, trash, or mid. Some things are just are. This is. The Nike Vomero 18 is. To be or not to be? That is the question. The answer here is to be. This is to be. Bro was going 50 on this through road in a Lexus. They're trying to call the cops on me. It's disrespectful. One other thing about the non-negotiables in the system, though, and treating your own commitments as if they're as important as not getting fired, is that I found for myself personally, I can't do that with something I hate. If I hated running, or even with something I don't like, if I didn't like running, I wouldn't have stuck with this as a fitness habit. I just like fitness in general and exercising. I always have, so it's not the hardest thing in the world for me to string together a bunch of 100-mile weeks because I enjoy it. So the daily commitment is sometimes hard, but it's made a lot easier when we enjoy it. And I've always found ways to enjoy these things. I think especially from a business standpoint, a lot of people like the idea of starting a business. And I started so many businesses, so many business ideas and concepts before I landed on Supwell. And this is still just in the early stages, but I quit all of them because I wasn't committed to it. The things that I've stuck with throughout my life, I stuck with them not because they were going to make me a ton of money. When I was in high school, I used to string lacrosse sticks because I loved the culture of lacrosse. I loved the creativity of stringing a stick, the patterns you could make with how you attach the mesh to the holes on the side. It would create different characteristics with the pocket. Some sticks could have more whip. That means a snap. It's like a snap of the carbon fiber plate. You can think of whip as a firmer ride. You could have more or less whip, or you could have more or less hold. Hold is like stability, how the ball stays in the pocket. You crank down those holes in a different way, that will create more hold. Then you could have a shallower or deeper pocket. Some of the attack men like the shallower pocket to just pop that right out. Some of them like the pocket to sit up higher for more finesse. And then defensemen wanted a deeper pocket, so you have more control over the ball, a lot more hold with a deeper pocket in the defenseman sticks. But I was running a completely unprofitable business in high school doing that just because I liked it. But I did it for a bunch of years because it was enjoyable, and then I moved on to other things. But the things that I've stuck with and been able to stick with and what have led me to being able to have this moderately successful part-time business, it all starts from something that's enjoyable. For me, man, it's easier for me to stick with things that are enjoyable. That's also why for the last few years, I pick 1 or 2 max big races each year. I saw another athlete on Instagram. He posted his 2025 race calendar. He had 5 or 6 races on there. I said, gosh dang, I would never be able to do that. Because for me, it just creates too much pressure. Sometimes it saps the joy from it when I'm training for a big race. And especially with the job and the family and everything. If I were doing this full time, I would probably pick 3 big races a year and structure everything around that. But for example, this week, I've been fighting for my mileage. I've not been able to get in big workouts. So having the flexibility allows me to still enjoy this and commit to the things which are important to me. Getting out the daily videos, growing the app, and getting my mileage in, which for me encourages the lifestyle I want to live. Yeah, my goal with this is to have some sort of enjoyable fitness practice so that my body can keep up with my mind for as long as possible. And I don't know how long that's going to be running, but I'm enjoying it now. As for the shoe, I always talk about intended purpose. This is designed to be solid, and it is solid. The reason it's surprisingly solid is because of the expectations that we are levying on it, and also because of the gigantic ZoomX logo on the side. That is really the one design flaw of this shoe. It's in the marketing, and it's in what they printed on the side, and also I'm not sold on their new product setup, and I know a lot of people aren't either, with the Vomero structure Pegasus lines. We'll see. It isn't even fully rolled out yet, but that's creating a lot of confusion. More confusion. I think it's creating more issues than it's solving. It's almost like, so here's the thing, I work for an agency who does the exact type of work that this was, which is brand architecture, product architecture, naming. It's called brand strategy. They hired some agency to do this. They made a lot of good, pretty looking slides. It sounded like it made sense. They probably did some customer research, but here's the thing. They didn't talk to the sickos. I know that for a fact. Whatever agency they talked to didn't talk to the right people, and now it's just creating a lot of confusion. So the main issues I have with this shoe aren't actually about the shoe at all, which is a positive thing, because for a long time Nike wasn't making amazing or even good daily trainers. This is a good daily trainer. Someone told me they didn't understand why I hadn't blown up yet. I appreciate the sentiment. I think I should be a lot bigger. With the way I'm building this beast, I'm not trying to blow up overnight. I'd rather be here in 10 years built on a solid foundation than do something that works for a few months. I've said this before, man, but it's the Currency route. If you know who Currency is, the rapper from New Orleans, he used to be signed to Lil Wayne in the 2000s. Now he's the most legendary independent artist, and he's built a solid foundation on top of consistent quality and doing his own thing. He lives in New Orleans, has all his cars, and he's well respected. And he doesn't try to make mainstream hits. There's a place for everybody. It's the slow grind, baby. And Currency is your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. Back in high school, I was wearing polo. Mojo Jojo. See, I thought I was done with Playboy Cardi. I was saying this the other day. 8.23 miles, 7:28 pace. But he roped me back in right when I thought I was out. You know how he roped me back in? Reminiscing about his high school days wearing polo. I used to wear polos and pastels in high school as well. We were probably in high school around similar time. Playboy Cardi and I. And the price of greatness is high. The price of greatness is that you have to be perfect or you're going to get slammed. But guess what? Some things can just be. And the Vomero 18 is. The weight of society's expectations is high, man. And the thing is, a lot of us want to see instant success, or we call something a failure. And with the great names, the Nikes, the LeBrons, the Bradys, if it's not absolutely, amazingly, stunningly, beautifully, perfectly executed, then it's a gosh dang failure. But guess what? The Vomero 18 is not a banger, and it's not trash. It's right in the middle. So let's throw up today's run. This run was the perfect run to close out this 50-mile review because it was a normal, standard, everyday run. Just about 1 hour. What was the exact? It's off my watch now. but it was 7:30 pace, 8 miles, just about an hour run around the cruise. That is what a daily trainer is designed to do. This is a pure daily trainer in every sense of what those two words mean. Daily, everyday trainer, training shoe. It's an everyday shoe. It's comfortable, it's cushioned, it has just enough of what I want in an everyday shoe, which is control over the platform, ease of use. It's simple to put on. I don't have to fight with it. It fits my foot how I would expect in my standard 10.5 size, very average. The grip is good. I could tell this is going to be an awesome shoe for all different sorts of runs. You could take it on the treadmill. You could take it out in the rain. You could take it out on some light trails because of how grippy it is, and it's going to have durability. So the key issue with the shoe, as I've said, is Nike slapped the ZoomX thing here. If they didn't slap the ZoomX thing here, even if they just said ZoomX in the marketing but didn't put it here, the expectations wouldn't have been so sky high. And with every single Nike shoe, people either think it's going to be incredible or they're ready to bury it. But not every Nike shoe is worth burying. And I've run in a lot of shoes that are bricks, and I've seen people calling this a brick. This is 100% not a brick. Some people love it. Some people are saying it's a brick. It's not a brick. I'm really not sure how you would think this is a brick unless you go into this with the expectations that it is going to be an invincible type of shoe and give you that cloud-like running experience, because that it is not. But guess what? Mizuno Neo Zen, Balos, Nova Blast 5, those all have less support range and less of a normal feel than this. And at $150, this represents decent value too. It was $160 in the last generation. It's $150 now. So this is Nike's best daily trainer now. It's a simple shoe. It's not going to blow you away, but it's also extremely reliable. I put some miles on this and got this up to 50, not because I had any impetus to do a 50-mile review. I only do these on shoes that I enjoy. And yes, I have gosh dang enjoyed this. And I think people are going to be surprised. And people were surprised when it made the Supwell Daily Trainers power rankings, which is based on my opinion, but also based on how many people are using these shoes and how they're talking about them on the app and in the hobby jogger community and in the other places that I look to see, are people actually using these shoes? And people are. A lot of people are enjoying it. Grant did a review on the Supwell app, and he said it was a run club shoe, which I think is also pretty funny, meaning it's a shoe you can use to run 30 miles. He also has the Aeroglide. He also has the Mag Max, and he's not going to be pulling for it over that. But for most people, if you're just getting a shoe to use in running, you want reliability, you want comfort, you want cushion. And for me, I've found that the deeper we get into this game, for me personally, the deeper I get into the game, the harder it is for me to just enjoy a shoe for what it is. And that's part of my role on YouTube as a reviewer. I'm not forced, but well, I come out here at the end of every run and I pick apart these shoes and I tell you it's softer than this, it's firmer than this, the toe box is narrower than this, it has more bounce than this, it has less ground feel than this. That's my role here. But if I can remove myself from that situation, like I did yesterday, I just did a 12-mile run in this without having to talk about it, no GoPro. I was doing a list. Again, this has been a very busy week. I was just doing the list of the best race shoes. So I just needed something that I could run 12 miles in. And I said, hey, I haven't picked up the Vomero in a while. I was running the Nimbus earlier in this week. Let me grab that. And it did fine. It did better than fine. It is. So who should buy this? If you are looking for a comfortable daily trainer, if most of your runs are up to 1 hour and you want something that's gonna be great for going up to 1 hour, this is a good shoe. The main performance issue I have had with this is once I cross that 1 hour mark, if I'm not feeling great, then the shoe stopped feeling so good. But that is what a workhorse daily trainer is. A workhorse is as good as you are. It gives you what you put into it. So unlike a super max stack shoe like a Skyward X or even a Neo Zen that's elevated above that workhorse category, these shoes are not going to give more bounce. And that's the issue I have with shoes with a 180 plus price tag like the Diadora Atamo Star. That was even worse performance than this.
But it annoyed me that it wasn't giving me that super max stack experience where, like the Mag Max, right? I'm running at a 7:30 pace, or what feels like a 7:30 pace. I check my watch, it's a 7:15. With this, pretty much every run I've done it, I've been dead on 7:20, 7:30. It feels exactly how you would expect across all these paces. It's not going to give you anything more. So if you're doing a lot of high mileage training, and that's what I'm saying, if you're going past an hour, this isn't going to be the best option because it doesn't give you more bounce, more comfort. It's not going to ease off all the burden that comes with piling on the mileage. But if you are doing shorter runs, if you want something that looks great, again, like Grant said, run club shoe, and this thing does look fantastic, this is going to be awesome. Also, if you want something with good grip, bada boom, bada bang. If you want something that is cushioned but not soft, this is great. But it does have a softer step-in feel. And as you get more miles on it throughout a run, mile 10, 11, 12, that's where it starts feeling firmer because the ZoomX just is not responding as well. But for most people, and I said this in the Nimbus review I did earlier this week, most people are not doing 20-mile long runs. That's just the reality. Most people are getting these shoes to use them for 30 minutes, 40-minute jog, taking the kids to school, walking the dog. This is beautiful for that. Super comfortable. That's what you need, the step-in comfort and the support. This is not going to be the shoe. I'm never going to do a 22-mile double day in this. I'm never going to do another 20-mile long run in this. Connor Mans actually did it. Someone told me. I haven't verified this, but I heard he did a 22-mile long run in this. So you can do that with any of these shoes, really. I did a 20-mile long run in the Bondi. I did a 20-mile long run in the Nimbus. Those two I would prefer for longer runs than this. Point being, if you want a simple shoe that just is, and you like Nike, this is great. I will put this up there in top 5 most comfortable everyday shoes category now with the Bondis of the world, the Nimbys of the world, and the Brooks Ghost Max of the world. It really is that comfortable. Plus, you can actually run in it. So this is a really good shoe for the intended purpose of being a simple sneaker that you can do athletic things in. It's not the greatest thing since a full stack of non-plated ZoomX like people were expecting from it. But it's not a full stack of non-plated ZoomX. It is largely React X, and with some miles, I have enjoyed this React X a lot more than I did out of the box. So my verdict on this is a thumbs up. Again, this is not the shoe that I'm gonna do a 100-mile weekend. It's not the shoe I'm gonna do 20-mile long run with 10 miles at a 5:30 marathon pace, simply because there's better options on the market for that. But for a simple shoe in the rotation, if that's what you're looking for, and you want something that's more cushioned and protective than other standard shoes with a modicum of pop, the capability to pick up the pace but not being a fast shoe, this is it. So the Nike Vomero 18 is, and I will be back tomorrow with another video.